Welcome to the Doc G Show, a radio show cluster. Without further ado, critics have said he has the face for radio and a voice for silent films. Your host, Ben Doc G Gordon.
And we are on the air. Welcome to Doc G Show. I'm your host, Doc G. With me, as always, the one, the only, Mikey Maximus. Call him Dad. Charette.
Say what?
Doc G, what's up, sir?
Oh my gosh, Mike. Spring has sprung.
Yes, it has.
The equinox has passed, Mike. We are on the up and up. My new year. You know what? I told you when we were going over seasons that our favorite months, I mean. April was sort of my new year. I guess that's true. I was just thinking about that. You know what I'm going to set my new year as? The equinox. That's when the new year is. When we have more light than we do darkness. Once we pass that, new year. And Mike, it is the new year. And I am feeling good, you know?
Yeah, man.
But last weekend, I had a nightmarish scenario. I had to go to a wedding.
Yeah.
Even worse, I was in the wedding, Mike.
Oh, my God. Yeah. A lot of pressure. A lot of responsibility.
Even worse, I had to drive 7 hours to the wedding.
Oh, God, dude.
Yeah.
It's not good. Man.
Yeah.
All around.
But you know what? It was, before I trash this wedding and say anything negative.
Wait, what?
It was a very, very good wedding, I will say.
Yeah.
And
Did you catch the bouquet?
I did not, and I did not catch the garter either, Mike. I refused, actually. They said, again, forced fun, Mike. The DJ said, all the single men to the dance floor, and I was like, no. And he was like, come on, all the single men. I was like, I'm taken. Me and him are together, and I pointed to my friend Lee. I was like, me and him, we're engaged. And then Brandon actually threw it to my friend Lee. But anywho, I digress. Great wedding. Congratulations to my friends. The joy and happiness I wish them, Mike, unlimited. Unlimited. But let it also be noted, I could have done without the wedding.
Yeah.
You know? Mike, I thought of a perfect analogy for me at a wedding. Have you ever seen a cat on a leash?
Yes.
Now, and listeners, I'm not talking about the weirdo cats that have been like trained from a young age to be on a leash, but a normal cat. Taking a normal adult cat and putting them on a leash. That's me at a wedding. That cat knows they're not supposed to be on a leash. They don't want anybody to tell them what to do, and yet here they are on a leash. And they basically just go into non-violent protest. And they're like, no, I'm not going to do it. And they just fall over on their side, and a person ends up dragging them. And that's me at a wedding, Mike. They're like, hey, we're going to do this. I'm like, no.
Nope.
No, we're not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. I am protesting. This is horrible, right? That's me, Mike. Forced fun.
Yeah.
Forced fun. It's horrible.
Yeah.
You know?
Weddings are tough, man. They really are.
I mean, let me tell you. If you're having a wedding and you're thinking, I should invite a bunch of people to my forced fun extravaganza, no. You shouldn't do it. You shouldn't. Mike, here's another thing. Weddings should be employed like hemorrhoid cream.
Huh?
If you believe you're in need of one, do it. But don't tell anybody else. And just hope it works. Right?
Yeah.
That's the way weddings should go. Oh, no, I've got hemorrhoids. Let me clear that up. Hey, do you have hemorrhoids? No, I don't have them. No. That's a wedding, Mike. So, to all hemorrhoid cream pliers and to wedding creators, both of you, hats off to you. I just don't want to be involved. Mike, real quick, one thing to mention about the wedding, but not actually in the wedding. I needed to get a dress shirt for the old rehearsal dinner.
Mm-hmm.
So before I went to the wedding, I went to the mall.
Woohoo! Oh, yeah.
Yes. Now, I couldn't remember exactly when we talked about it, Mike. I think it was about a year ago. But I got to say, Mike, I'm still fascinated with the mall.
I couldn't remember your stance on the mall.
Well, I was just surprised, and I still am, because it's such a weird place.
Yeah, it is.
Like, how do any of these places stay open?
I have no idea, man.
Like, there were like 100 stores in the mall, and there were like 200 people, which I was surprised there were still 200 people in there, but like none of them seemed to buy anything. And I was just like,
it's so weird.
How are you guys still open? And
It's a front, man. It's all a front. I believe it's all a front.
Conspiracy. Word. But I was like walking from one department store to the other. So I went from Belk to Dillard's. And they were like, across the whole mall. So I had to walk through all the meat of the mall.
You walk through from the poor side to the fancy side.
Whoa. I don't know if you're calling Belk poor. It is pretty classy, my friend.
I don't know, dude. I haven't been to a Belk. I don't know if I've ever even been to a Belk in my life.
You need to take yourself. It is southern dressing at its finest, Mike.
That's right.
Am I gonna get a Polo Association shirt?
Right? No, hey, real polo. Real polo is what you will get. Anywho, as I was walking through, Mike, there was, they have, of course, all the little kiosk in the mall, the little stand-up kiosk.
Yeah.
And
you want a massage?
Well, there was a dude that was like selling like facial cream. And this dude, I want to know how long he had been working there, because he was yelling at everyone going by, just giving them all these taglines and marketing and asking them if they wanted his cream on their face. And I was just like, what is this guy on crack? Like, how is he this psyched? Is this your first day? Because there is no way I would have had that enthusiasm for selling that crap after about 2 hours. Like,
yeah, it was probably first day enthusiasm.
It was amazing, man. I was just like, geez.
Because most of those people are just hunched over on their phones.
Yeah, just like, which was beside him. The next kiosk was this girl, like she was clearly like in her mid-20s.
Can I guess the item?
Yeah.
T-shirt, like marquee T-shirts where there's like scrolling stuff on the
They had
T-shirt.
one of those.
And hats.
They had one of those. That was further down, though.
Okay.
This one, I don't even know, honestly, what she was selling. It was like some weird pyramid scheme, like...
Of course.
I have no idea what they were advertised, but she clearly didn't need to be there. She needed to be in counseling for depression, because she was just like sort of like sitting there just staring at the ground, like not even looking at her phone, just like straight at the ground. And I was like, she needs to talk to the guy at the kiosk previously, like needs to get some of that energy over there. Like, it was I just like, it's like, it was one of those, I wanted to go up to her and be like, clearly whatever you had in your mind in high school and in college, maybe not college, whichever, did not work out. Whatever the plan was, this wasn't it. I apologize. So then,
would you be interested in some face cream?
Yeah, get some face cream. It will brighten your day and your face. It may be that guy's I don't know. But that's why he's so happy. Woo! Take it. But I saw a bunch of guys walking too, like mall walkers, like dedicated old dudes and ladies.
Oh yeah, just doing laps.
Yeah, getting their but here's the thing. It was a beautiful day outside. It was like 78 and just perfect weather, and I was like, so why are you allergic to sunlight or fresh air? Because I gotta say, it's pretty awesome out there, and it's pretty depressing in here. So it was I wanted to interview them too. I didn't know, but I ended up at Dillard's to get the dress shirt, and the dude that checked me out definitely resembled Cedric the Entertainer.
Okay.
Very Cedric the Entertainer, and just dressed to the nines, Mike.
Yeah.
I mean, he had a vest on, nice tie,
Python shoes.
He had the classy glasses. Yeah, some kind of, I don't know, snake skin of some sort shoes. Very impressive. Very impressive. And he was very nice. Asked me a lot of questions. He was getting all in there, with this question. Oh, why are you getting this dress shirt? Are you sure this is your size? You want me to size you up? Oh, whoa, easy, Cedric. We don't easy. But my summary point, Mike, malls are fascinating, and organized, highly scheduled weddings should be abolished. Mm-hmm. Those are my summary points.
Agreed.
Mike,
both.
This show is neither a mall or a wedding.
No.
But I'm ready to fire it up. How about you?
Let's fire up the show, Doc G.
All 3 engines up and burning. 2, 1, 0, and lift off.
Woo! My goodness, Mike. We have, I don't throw this around a lot, tremendous show. I don't use the adjective tremendous too much, but we have a tremendous show. I try to vary my adjectives, Mike. I don't
like that.
I don't use too many negative ones. I usually don't come on here and go, we have a show, everybody. This one is really bad. No, this is a good one, and we have Tim Foreman on the show from the fantastic band Switchfoot.
I love Switchfoot.
My goodness, these fellas, millions of albums sold, a Grammy under their belt. My goodness, I don't think they really keep it under their belt. That might be gross, but they've got a Grammy, and they have a new song with none other than Mr. Buddy Guy, absolute legend, with a legendary band. Insane. I can't wait to talk to Tim. But first, we need to start where we start.
Birthday suit.
Happy birthday, Mr. President.
I was debating to myself, Mike, how good you would do on these 3 this week. It's a possibility you could get all 3. It's also a possibility you could get none of them.
Wait, what?
So it's a highly. I'm least confident on this first one.
Okay.
So we'll see how you do. Born on March 26, 1944, in Detroit, Michigan, she is known as the Queen of Motown. Not the Queen of Soul, Mike. That's Aretha Franklin. This is the Queen of Motown. She was the lead singer of the Supremes, which was actually Motown's most successful act. They had 12 number 1 singles, like songs like Love Child, Someday We'll Be Together, Where Did Our Love Go, Come See About Me, You Can't Hurry Love, Baby Love, You Keep Me Hanging On, Stop in the Name of Love. I think that'd be probably the biggest one. Stop in the name of love. Anywho, she then went on her solo career in the 70s, had more number 1 hits like Ain't No Mountain High Enough, Love Hangover, Touch Me in the Morning, Endless Love, which Endless Love was with Lionel Richie. Our birthday suit wearer was named Female Entertainer of the 20th Century by Billboard. She sold over 100 million albums, and that was just her solo career. That wasn't with the Supremes. She was inducted in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame as a member of the Supremes. She has 2 stars on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, and she has 2 Grammy Lifetime Achievement Awards. Name that birthday suit wearer.
Can I get some initials?
I was afraid of it. DR, Mike.
Donna?
Nope.
No.
Sort of close.
Diana Ross.
There we go. There it is. The initials got it for Mike. Yeah.
Yes.
Diana Ross, Mike. My goodness. She's just a boss, Diana Ross.
Word.
Very funny daughter too. I'm forgetting her name right now, but she has a daughter that's in comedy and good stuff. Good stuff. She was on Conan's show a while back. She doesn't just do comedy. She does acting as well, but she's in a lot of comedies. So,
okay.
Yeah. But Diana Ross, man, just a titan, if you will, of the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, and she's still out there performing. Turning what is she turning? She's turning 81.
Wow.
My Lord.
Catch a Diana Ross concert.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, exactly. Getting out there, man. So happy birthday to Diana Ross.
Yeah.
Just amazing. Anywho, Mike, are you ready to rip some headlines?
Let's rip some headlines, Doc G.
It's now time for Rip from the Headlines.
Mike, this first article here, this is a throwback from the opening. This article is from the Wall Street Journal. Here's the headline. American women are giving up on marriage. Mike, just call me an American woman. Woohoo! I am one. I have given up on it. But, Mike, this story was from Rachel Wolf. And she wrote this story based on a survey, apparently, that just came out. And it showed more women than men are attending college, buying houses, and focusing on their friendships and career more so than they are dating or marriage. Which, props to you, ladies.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I am with you. And that's not a ploy to try to switch you over to that dating and marriage. That is, go get it. Go get it, ladies. Over half of the single women say they believe they are happier than their married counterparts in a survey of 5,837 adults there, Mike. And then just over a third of the surveyed single men said that. So apparently the single men are out there just being depressed as
Yeah.
not me, Mike. Not me. And they did not survey
You're doing
me.
great.
I'm doing pretty good. Can't go. Hey, it's the new year for me, Mike. Spring has sprung. Mike, I've got an article here from Complex. Quote, Drake says his biggest gambling win was $40 million at Dave and Buster's. Mike, I don't know about his biggest win, but I will say his biggest gambling loss. Gambling his rap career, thinking he was better than Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah.
Lost that one.
Yeah, he did.
Lost that one bad. But I also have questions about this, Mike. I saw this headline, and I was like, Dave and Buster's? Like, do they have gambling? Like, am I the only one that doesn't get this? But this is what, so apparently he was answering questions, Mike, in a ad he is doing for an online gambling platform. He's like a brand ambassador, and so to get a whole bunch of money, he just goes on Instagram and answers people's questions about gambling. Yes! And so somebody asked him what the biggest win he ever had was. And he said, the biggest win I ever had was in a Dave & Buster's. I was getting this random girl to call roulette numbers for me. I hit like 8 out of 10 numbers. And I think by the end of the night, we had won like 38 million. 40 million? Yeah, 40 million. And I'm like, did he mean like online
Yeah,
roulette?
like was he on his phone? Yeah.
Because like Dave & Buster's definitely does not have gambling. So I was just so
got some basketball machines and some some skee ball.
Yeah, well that's what I thought. I was like, I even looked it up. I was like, could it be like a roulette machine where you win tickets or something? And he was just betting on it with like friends or something. But no, they don't even have roulette machines. So I guess it had to be on his phone at a Dave & Buster's. I guess I was very confused by that, Mike. But apparently that was his biggest win, $40 million.
Okay.
But to follow that up, Mike, Complex had another headline about the same Drake questions. So here's the headline from Complex on this. Quote, Drake on intense Michael Jordan ping pong match. I respect him deeply for his gambling nature.
Word.
Gotta say, Mike, That's probably not the thing you should respect Michael Jordan for.
Nope.
You know? That's like saying, you know what? I really respect Jimi Hendrix for his love of drinking. That was really good on his part. It's not the quality that we actually want to respect him for. You know?
No.
It's probably, I don't know. Call me crazy. His insane ability to play basketball. That's sort of what we look for. But apparently this actually happened, Mike. There was I forget what the what was going on in Toronto, but there was something going on in Toronto. They were both at the same party. There was a ping pong table, and Mike was apparently betting like 6-7 bands worth of money on these ping pong games. And Drake claims he was beating him at these ping pong games. Now, we all know if that's not true, Michael Jordan will murder Drake at some point for saying this. But, yes. And, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, a band is 10,000, I do believe, right?
I have no idea, Doc G. No idea.
You don't sit around with a bunch of bands, Mike?
I've heard the band's reference in various rap songs, but I've never actually looked into what the definition of
I want to say
is.
a band is 10,000 because it's 100 tens. Or I mean 101. Sorry, 101.
Urban Dictionary. What do we got?
100 hundredths. Sorry, 100 hundredths. But apparently, I'm looking right now. I just looked it up. Apparently, a band is typically refers to $1,000. They say.
Oh.
$1,000. So now is a rack the same thing? Okay, here's a Reddit post, Mike, which you can always believe.
Oh yeah.
They have that a band is 1,000, 10,000, or sorry, a band is 1,000, a rack is 10,000, a stack is 100,000.
A stack.
Yeah.
Band.
Yes.
Rack and stack.
Today
we learned, Doc G. Thank you.
Thank you, Reddit, for the completely not
thank
real
you so
post.
much.
And somebody just made that up, and we're like, isn't that
Come
funny?
on.
They're gonna
Michael
all
Jordan
believe it.
could have been doing stacks, though.
Oh, he definitely could have been doing stacks.
Minimum racks, but bands, come on.
Maybe Drake doesn't know his terminology. Maybe he was doing it wrong, Who knows?
Okay.
Maybe he doesn't read Reddit like we do. Mike, let's head over to People. This is a headline from the fantastic folks at People. Quote, Cheesecake Factory adds more than 20 dishes to its 250-item menu. Here's what's new. Mike, Cheesecake Factory, where the slogan is, why be good at a couple things when you could be average at 17 million? But apparently I found this out, Mike. They change their menu a lot. They change it twice a year. And they've been doing that for 40 years.
In what way, though? Like, what, they're probably just like subtracting a couple items that are not selling.
Yeah,
and
just
keeping
in
inventory.
rotation. But they keep changing it, man. They keep changing it. So here's some of the items they've got coming. The couple that nobody's going to eat. Grilled asparagus, honey roasted carrots. Nobody's doing that nonsense.
No, boring. We're here at the Cheesecake Factory.
Chicken and jalapeno fritters. Yeah. People are getting down on
I'm
those.
Down with that.
Thai stir-fried noodles.
I don't know, man. Cheesecake Factory.
Maybe. Seared tuna tataki salad.
Okay.
Steak frites. You're getting down
with
on
the steak
that.
frites.
Yeah. Spicy ginger beef tenderloin. Here's my favorite, Mike. This just sounds like a straight diner, but grilled steak and eggs. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Different.
So there you go. Those were the ones I wrote down. I didn't write down all, however many they're added. 20. I didn't write down all 20.
Doc G, what are frites? Are those just like strips of steak?
I think. Well, no. I think the frites is fries.
Yeah.
I think that's
So
the part of it. Because like steak frit. But I do think like you're right. I think it comes in slices.
Like, okay.
Yeah. Hold on. This time we'll go to Wikipedia. Steak frites, meaning steak and fries. There we go.
Oh, okay.
In French.
Oh, I like that.
Is a dish consisting of beefsteak paired with fried potatoes. It is commonly served in Belgian and French. I'm not going to try to pronounce that word. And it's considered by some to be the national dish of Belgium.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah. So there you go. Sweet. There you go. The rump steak was commonly used in this dish, but now ribeye is used often. And they usually put a pan reduction sauce with it, sometimes hollandaise or béarnaise sauce, served with deep fried potatoes. Now, it doesn't mention the fries being, or the steak being sliced, Mike. They've got 3 pictures, and in one picture, it is not sliced. In the other 2 pictures, it is sliced. So, oh no. Hold on. Let's this is fascinating radio, Mike. Let me just look here. Does the steak in steak frites have to be sliced? AI overview, Mike. So we all know this is full of you can't believe anything that this says, but it says, while you can serve steak frites with whole steaks, traditionally the steak is sliced into strips or thin pieces before serving.
Oh, yeah.
God, we learned a lot today, Mike.
Take note, cheesecake. Better be sliced up.
Better be sliced. We now know everything there is to know. Mike?
We do.
Let's keep it going with another People story. Yes! Here we go. Here's the headline from People. Quote, tourists attacked by locals after climbing forbidden Mayan temple in Mexico.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Mike, I have unbelievable information for the listeners about this story. The tourist wasn't American. Woo!
Thank God, yes.
Right? Americans may be doing everything else possible that's wrong, but we didn't climb the forbidden temple this particular time. Give it up. Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. This guy was German, apparently. So there you go. Suck it, Germany.
Huh?
Yeah.
We didn't do something stupid this time. Mike, you saw this?
I did. I saw the article, yeah.
Yeah, this was the temple. I think the sort of colloquial name for this is El Castillo, is the temple, which was built for the equinox, so that light passes through the structure just perfectly, and they know when the hours of light and night are equal to each other. So, I'm sure they had all kinds of fun celebrations. That's sort of what those Mayan folks did.
Oh, for sure. It was
they
a
loved
party.
it,
Definitely.
Now, it's forbidden to climb on, Mike, because people have caused damage to it, mainly, right? So
and themselves.
Yeah, those were the 2 things. So they either fell off it or they damaged it, broke pieces off. So it's just sort of safety and longevity rule. But this goofy German was like, no way, I'm running up this thing. And needless to say, the locals, not happy.
Nope.
Weren't too happy about the decision. And the police ran him down, and they arrested him. And while
They also climbed it.
They did. They did. But, they were fine.
Do you think any of them were slightly excited to climb it
I'm
to get
sure.
to this guy?
They're like, awesome. You get to do
Yes.
this.
Finally.
But
I've been walking around this thing for months and years, and finally get to climb it.
they actually faked not being able. Oh, I tried to catch him. I tried to. So cool. Oh, I couldn't get him again. Oh, this is dope.
This is nice.
dope. But yeah, the police ran him down. They arrested him, and while they were taking him away, some folks did give him a mild beating. They just came over and hit him once, or twice, and the police were like, "Hey, back off," But it is one of those situations, Mike, where I watched this and I was like, what did the dude envision happening? Like, how did he think this was going to end up good? Like, he got to the temple and he was like, you know what I should do? I should run to the top of this. What was going to be the end result, Mike?
I don't know. Did he get a selfie? Did he get it on TikTok? What happened? Nothing?
Yeah, I mean, it didn't seem like it. That's the thing. Is like, I don't know.
Wasted opportunity.
I mean, maybe that was his thought. Maybe he thought he would have more time, and he was like, I'm going to get to the top of this thing. I'm going to hit a shot, and then I'm going to be Instagram famous. But, like, I don't know. I mean, I feel like that was where you need to phone a friend and be like, hey, here's what I'm planning on doing. I'm planning on going to the temple and running up to the top. And your friend should be like, I don't think you should. I don't think that'd be a good idea. You know? I'm just saying. Anyways, Mike, we need to take a break. We are going to be right back here on the Doc G Show. And we are back here on the Doc G Show. Spinnaker Radio, WSKRLP 95.5 FM in Jacksonville, Florida. Mike, the listeners are looking to support the show. How should they support the show?
Well, Doc G, if the listeners feel like this tremendous show is a positive way to waste their time, then they should please subscribe to the show.
Amen.
Wherever they get their podcasts. We're on SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, Sirius, Pandora Plus, Spotify. Please subscribe. Cost-effective way to support the show. And listeners, if you're feeling extra generous, please leave us a 5-star review.
Amen. Mike, speaking of 5 stars, we need to thank the 5-star listeners.
Yes, we do.
Now, remember, if you are a 5-star listener, you listen to this show every single week, we die in the darkness if you don't give us a 5-star rating. Mm-hmm. If you have not already lit our life up with a 5-star rating, what are you doing, guys?
Yeah.
Now, I have no room to speak because all the podcasts I listen to, I have not given a 5-star ranking to, even though I listen to them. You know what? I'm going to do it right now, Mike. I'm gonna do it at least on one. I'm not telling you which one I'm giving a 5-star rating to, because I don't need to give them any more cred than they all. You know what? I'm gonna do it because I like Seth Meyers. I'm giving Seth Meyers right now a 5-star rating. Here it goes, Mike. Hold on. I'm getting ready to put it down. Just give me a second. You can time me. This is how long it's going to take you guys to do this. Here I go. I'm going to the episode. Boom. 5 stars, Mike.
Nice.
There it is. That's how long.
I just checked to make sure I left a 5-star review on our show.
There you go.
I have already done that.
Okay, I thought we could get another one, but it's all right. Listeners, that's how long. 15 seconds, you can give us a 5-star, and that
doesn't take long
makes our life.
It does.
Makes our life. Now, let me give a shout out to everybody that has made our life just by the listens. Mm-hmm. So here we go.
Shout out.
Shout out to Fort Worth, Texas, Anoka, Minnesota, Ashburn, Virginia, Piracai, Brazil, San Diego, California, Dublin, Ireland, Bournemouth, Oregon, Genoa, Italy, Richards, Texas, Barcelona, Spain, Winfield, West Virginia, Biloxi, Mississippi, Tulsa, Oklahoma, Peoria, Illinois, Katy, Texas, Toms River, New Jersey, Olive Branch, Mississippi, Asheville, North Carolina, Los Angeles, California, Spartanburg, South Carolina, Athens, Georgia, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, Chicago, Illinois, Boynton, Virginia, Fort Lauderdale, Florida, Columbus, Ohio, Falkenstein, Germany, Jacksonville, Florida, Columbia, South Carolina, Radford, Virginia, Gainesville, Florida, Frankfurt, Germany.
Thank you.
Wasn't perfect, but I got it. Wasn't
you got
perfect.
through it, man.
There were some stutters. There were some screw ups, but you know what? I did it. I did
you
it.
Did.
Mike, 4-star listeners. First on the list.
Shout out.
Phoenix. One more week, Phoenix. You got one more week, and you will be in the Pantheon. You will be in the 5-star listeners. Get it, Phoenix. Get it. Mike, also, I don't know how you say this. Cloney, Ireland. It's a Clonee. What would you say on that? Cloney or Cloney?
Spell it again.
Clonee.
Cloney.
Okay, maybe it's not even Cloney. Maybe it's just clone. I have no idea. But Cloney, Ireland. It's on the outskirts of Dublin, so shout out to you guys.
Thank you, guys.
Seattle, Washington. Shout out to you. Altoona, Pennsylvania. Shout out to you guys. Mike, don't get too excited. But Dhaka, Bangladesh. Yes.
Bangladesh. Thank you, guys.
Yes,
Appreciate
they're back. We appreciate it. We want to see you to go number one, guys. Number one, Dhaka. Bring it to the top. I showed Mike last week. We had some bots from Bangladesh giving us praise on the show. And you know what? Even though they were bots, I appreciated it.
We do. Thank you, bots.
Thank you, Bangladesh bots. We appreciate it. Budapest, Hungary, Mike. Shout out to Budapest. Shout out to Singapore. Shout out to Brooklyn, New York. Shout out to Melbourne, Australia. And lastly, shout out to Marburg, Germany. It's about 40 miles north of Frankfurt, Mike.
Cool.
Oh, wait.
Thank you, Germany.
I'm sorry. I meant 64.3 kilometers. You're welcome, Germany. You're welcome.
Yes.
Mike, thanks to everybody that listens. I appreciate it. Mike, I need to pop open the miscellaneous file.
All right. What do we got?
So, two things, Mike. First, shout out to Jared Dickinson.
Shout out.
Jared was on the show several years back. You can't see it; it's out of frame, Mike. But his album is over here on the wall. Super nice dude. Always been supportive of the show. You know, he's been through a lot. He was diagnosed with diabetes, type 1 diabetes, in the pandemic, which is rough because he was in his 30s. Doesn't really happen a lot getting diagnosed with type 1 diabetes.
Nope.
You know? And then, just at the start of the month, he was diagnosed with stage 3 rectal cancer. Yeah.
Tough.
Now, that is rough. Now, it seems like, and he's mentioned, they think they can treat it and beat it. So, you know, I just wanted to say, we're with you, Jared.
Yeah, we are.
Keep it going, man. Keep it going. And, you know, if you can listen to this show during your treatment, you know, you might want to tear your headphones off, but we're here for you. You know?
We are.
We are here for you. Mike, I wanted to mention this, too. I posted a clip of us talking about Gen Z last week. The Business Insider clip there. That was the most thumbs down we had ever received. There was a lot of thumbs down. More thumbs down than thumbs up, by far. And I was like, I'm not. I interested. I sort of wanted to know, was this other generations disagreeing with me for supporting Gen Z? Or was it Gen Z folks not watching the entire clip and just putting a thumbs down before they realized I was being sarcastic? Or did they just not get my sarcasm? Or did I put background music on it, Mike? Did they not like the Beck loser?
The background music.
You know?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm going to go with they were agreeing with you by downvoting it.
Yeah, that's negative. Yeah.
They're right.
Totally. Like, yeah, I don't know, you know, which it couldn't be the music, because if it was the music, they were dead wrong. That's one of my favorite 90s songs of all time. Beck Loser is just a jam.
Yeah, it is.
Fun fact, Mike, that was actually what I wanted the intro of this show to be. That was the music.
How do we get the rights, man? How does that work?
Basically, either you pay an insane amount from Beck, or you get Beck's approval if he owns all the rights, which I do believe he probably does. And I don't think either of those things are happening. So
I wonder what, like, if we could pay for it, I wonder what the least amount of money you could pay for the least amount of time of the song.
Probably anything over
3
15
seconds. We just need 3 seconds of the song. That would be a lot, though, right?
Well, I think they've changed now, because like it used to be, you know, any like a second you'd have to pay for. But like, I think it's changed a little bit with some companies as far as like, since, you can go on Apple Music and listen to 30 seconds of a song with a preview. So I think they're a little bit more pliable, and it also depends on the use. Like, but if I'm telling them that I'm using it for the theme song, oh, no.
No way.
That'd be a lot of money. Lot of money.
Even 2 seconds of the song.
Oh, yeah.
Loser. Welcome to the show.
But this is the fact, Mike. When I made the pilot, little pilot there of the show to submit to Spinnaker Radio way back in 2016.
Oh, man, yeah.
It had this as an intro. It had Beck Loser as the intro. And, because I think highly of myself. I'm a loser, so why don't you kill me, But, Mike, just want to let you know that was our biggest downvote. And I would
we can do better.
I would like to say, too, that there should be a down button, a down, thumbs down, or a non-like for Instagram as well.
Oh, I've been saying that for years, dude. I've been saying it for years. They should have it for all social media. There should be a downvote.
Because, I feel like on, news stories, when I see a horrible political news story of somebody being a giant turd bag, or I see, somebody gets, horribly mangled in a car crash, you're supposed to like that? That's an anti-like. And I feel like, the New York Times would understand in a political story when you down-like it, they're like, yeah, okay, that makes sense. We get it.
Yeah.
We're just reporting the news and there's 70,000 people that down-like this.
Yeah.
But now, I don't think it should be available for art, Mike. That's just mean. Don't do that. But for news, definitely need it.
And I want to be able to sort by downlikes and all that. I want to be able to sort. Come on, man.
Yeah. Give us the power, social media. Anywho, Mike, we need to take a break. We are going to have the fantastic, the one, the only Tim Foreman from Switchfoot right here on the Doc G Show. Welcome back to the show, everybody. We are very excited to be welcoming the man behind Bongo Chico, whose album is coming out May 30th. Our guest is also the bassist and founding member of a phenomenal Grammy-winning band, Switchfoot, who just came out with a new song, Last Man Standing, featuring the one and only Mr. Buddy Guy. We have Mr. Tim Foreman. Tim, how's it going, sir?
Oh, so good. So good. It's just hearing you say that we came out with a song with Buddy Guy. I'm still getting used to that. That just doesn't even seem possible,
Right. Well, I want to get there to the Buddy Guy single, but at first I thought we would mention, we've got these solo things going on with Switchfoot. So,
yeah.
Your brother right now, he's actually going to be in Jacksonville here with us in just a couple of days. Now, John's been doing solo stuff for a pretty good long time. He released his first solo full-length album in 2021. Yours is coming out in May. How does it feel releasing? You've just released the first single just a couple of days ago, and now you're getting ready to release a solo album.
Yeah, it's an incredible feeling. I didn't have releasing solo music on my bingo card for my future a few years ago. And my brother John's been bugging me about doing a solo project for a long time. John and I write songs together almost daily, and
Yeah.
throughout my life, it's been almost entirely written for him to sing,
Mm-hmm.
Switchfoot songs.
Yeah.
And he kept bugging me that I needed to make a solo project, and I finally got curious as to, what would that even sound like?
Mm-hmm.
And kind of an existential question of, well, what does my voice want to sing? What are the stories I want to tell? And I got curious enough. I had to find out, and
I like it.
it's been an amazing journey. I'm super proud of the record.
Yeah.
First song is out, and the whole project's coming out in a few months.
Now, would you say, I'd heard you talk about your brother being that sort of influence, sort of pushing you towards doing a solo project. Was your main interest sort of like, well, I know what I sound like with my brother. Let's see what I sound like without, just by myself.
Yeah, and it's a chance to really explore the music that feels like it's been uniquely important in my life, and and find a way. I think when you're Switchfoot's been a band for 13 albums now.
Yeah.
And we've covered a lot of ground during that time, but there's a piece of music that feels uniquely mine, that is a flavor that I bring to Switchfoot, but to be able to just fully embrace that with no other people in the room was a really fun kind of self-indulgent experience of let's just make the album that feels entirely mine.
Yeah.
And with no concessions.
Yeah, in a good way, you get to be a little selfish.
Exactly.
Well, now, your brother, I think, am I right in saying he was also the one that got you into bass? I mean, as far as playing?
I don't know entirely if that's the case, but we've played music our entire lives. Our parents are musical, and so
how'd you find the bass?
I can't even remember a time that I wasn't playing music. You
just popped out playing the bass.
Well, no, I mean, I think I started on piano and guitar, but I did fall in love with bass kind of around the same time that I discovered the Beatles and Led Zeppelin, and both.
So Paul and
two
John,
of my favorite bass players. Yep, very yeah, Paul and John. You say Paul and John, you think of a different John, but yeah, and I think it's that perfect marriage between rhythm and melody. A bass guitar is a drum of sorts, but it's also, especially in the hands of guys like Paul McCartney, John Paul Jones, it's also a kind of a top line hook melodic instrument as well.
Absolutely. Well, so would you say Paul sort of hit that first bass idol for you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Nice. That dude, I mean, just a pause for that dude. 82 years old and just performing away, man. I don't know if you saw that SNL 50th anniversary, but and the other thing with Paul that amazes me, at least it might just be, I don't know, maybe his interview personas, but he seems as normal of a dude as possible. That I'm just like, this guy has been so insanely popular and is such an amazing artist, and just seems like a guy that you could sit there and have a normal conversation with. Like, it's pretty wild.
That's a good point. Because extreme fame does weird things to people.
Yeah.
And and if anyone could have gotten real weird, you'd think it'd be someone like Paul, who would just you talk about the most extreme version of fame,
exactly,
that we've ever seen. And you're right. He does seem like a very normal dude.
I mean, to a degree, like both of them. Like, I mean, that's the thing is like, I mean, innovation as well. You think a lot of the great artists out there. You sometimes think they're a little bit eccentric sometimes, and Ringo, honestly, or Paul doesn't seem that way. And You know, I mean, you mentioned the Zeppelin. I'll say sort of the same thing for Jimmy as well. Jimmy Page seems fairly normal when in interviews. You're like, well, that just seems like a nice guy that wants to chat about music. Like,
Yeah, that's a good point.
but
Yep.
well, I mean, speaking of the Beatles, I did see it was just a couple of months ago. You guys were working, I do believe, on a new album, and you were in Nashville, and you saw one of the other Beatles. You saw
Yeah, that's
Ringo
right.
Starr.
That was day one of our recording in Nashville. Literally, the plane landed like 2 p.m., went to the studio, and Mike Elizondo, who is producing our new record,
Mm-hmm.
he was like, hey, I know we were going to do a little work this afternoon, but change of plans. We're going to go see Ringo at the Ryman. And we had tickets all lined up. And you know, so that was already like, oh my gosh, I've never actually seen Ringo in person. You know, like
Yeah.
this is a phenomenal experience. You know, if you've ever been to the Ryman, small
Absolutely.
place, we've played, you know, 3 or 4 of my favorite shows ever at the Ryman. Super special place.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the intermission, Mike gets a phone call, and he waves us over, and we're next thing you know, we're meeting Ringo backstage.
Wow.
Which was you know, I was speechless. That was a really big moment for me.
Absolutely. Meeting a living Beatle is insane. That's a way to start off the recording session, our recording, you know, trip.
Right? Yeah, unbelievable. I think the smile on my face lasted for the whole 2 weeks we were in Nashville.
Well, I mean, you sort of you alluded to it a little bit there earlier, but I mean, you and your brother and Chad, you guys have been doing this for almost 30 years. Like it's crazy to say, but it's coming up on almost 30 years. I mean, you were in high school, right, when Switchfoot started?
That's right. Yeah, our first record came out 4 days after I graduated high school.
Wow.
So, you know, I had a few jobs in high school, but for all intents and purposes, this has been the only real job I've had.
That's a pretty good way to go, I think.
Right.
But I am imagining this. I may be completely wrong, but when you had a band in high school in the 90s, I feel like that's got to make you pretty popular. Were you feeling pretty popular, or were you obscure with this band at that time?
I don't know. You know how that's an elusive feeling. I think, you know, we within the music space, I don't think we ever felt like we totally fit in, like we were like part of the cool crowd.
Sure.
And that was a feeling that I felt in junior high and high school, and maybe that's just a human feeling, you know.
I think a little bit. I found this story on the internet, and you know how you can find basically anything on the internet. I gotta ask. It asked you about your most embarrassing moment, and you said it was giving a presentation in economics class in high school. Is that still the most embarrassing moment you have?
Absolutely not. I've had so many embarrassing moments.
I figured that had increased since then.
Yeah, the stakes get higher. The embarrassing moments get you know, more embarrassing. The one that comes to mind is coming out of COVID.
Mm-hmm.
It's the perfect post-COVID story. It's our first show back, you know, and I'm like, man, here we go.
Yeah.
We've all been missing this, you know. We're in St. Louis, day one of a tour, and I'm walking on stage, and it's like really dark, like full blackout, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't see a riser that was there,
no.
and here we go, like feeling cool, walking across the stage, catch my shin on the riser and just go flying, like full yard sail across the stage. We haven't even played a single note yet, and it was like, I'm bleeding. There's like blood's going through my leg, and like my sock at the end of the show is all bloody, and it was like the perfect metaphor of like coming back from COVID in a million different ways, right? It was like that was kind of how it was like, yeah, we're back. Are we?
Was it still dark? Did the crowd see the fall?
So they it was dark. So like most of the crowd did not, but I did hear like kind of a collective gasp amongst like the front, the people kind of up against the barricade in the front, kind of like, oh. and then like the pockets of laughter, like the little like giggles here and there. It was all there.
Were you already like plugged in and everything too? So your bass, like actually, like had you already been given the bass, or were you?
I did have the bass. I saved the bass.
Okay. Good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bass was not damaged. Only shin was damaged.
And a little bit of ego, but aside from that,
a lot of ego. Yeah. Basses are irreplaceable. Shins can be replaced. Is that how it goes?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's the saying.
That's how it works. Yeah.
Well, now, I feel like we said, Switchfoot's been going for this time, and you've had so many moments throughout the career. I mean, I feel like when you're going through it as a band for 30 years, and especially like in those first years when you were trying to improve your sort of situation in the music industry, I feel like almost every moment has to feel like that moment you look around and say, okay, we've made it. But like looking back at your career, was there any like critical points in Switchfoot where you guys looked at each other and were like, okay, we're at a different level. This is awesome.
Yeah, that's such an interesting question. Again, one of those elusive things where I think it's a little easier to see in the rear view mirror than it is in the moment.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, when you look in the rear view mirror, do you have any that you're like, that definitely was a point that changed us?
Yeah, because I would say in the moment, like, one of them that comes to mind is we got to play Madison Square Gardens twice, actually.
Wow.
But both of those times were like opening for like, these crazy bills. Mm-hmm. Whereas like one of them's like, remember Destiny's Child was there, and like, Jay-Z, and you're like small guy on the totem pole.
Yeah.
In that, so you don't feel like, you don't feel big in those moments, but then you look back and you're like, wow, that was a big moment.
For sure.
I think playing TRL back in the day, that was like a big deal,
Yeah. Absolutely.
MTV, New York, that's kind of like one of those moments where like, well, I grew up watching this show and now here I am playing on it. I think another moment was doing late night TV for the first time. Again, one of those things where like I just remember watching my favorite bands on late night TV, and I think
how many did you play with? Like, I mean, for as far as the late night spots, who did you play for as far as the different guests?
I think we kind of did them all.
Wow. Who was your favorite? You can say now. It's fine.
Yeah. Leno was just so kind. Every time he'd come into your dressing room, hang out, really made a point of it.
Nice.
Conan also very, very kind, real music lover.
Yeah.
Leno, I feel like we did his show, The Tonight Show, I want to say 12 times. It was like some kind of a record. But I remember the first time we played it, I was like 22, 23, had just moved into this neighborhood, just gotten married,
Mhm.
and all my neighbors kept waiting for the my parents to show up. They thought we were the kids house sitting, you know.
Yeah.
And then they saw me on that show, and I think that was the first time that they thought that I had a real job. They
They
were
were
like,
like,
"Oh,
okay, we get it now.
yeah." They suddenly like started talking to me.
Man, I mean, if you did 12 times, I would hope by the 12th time at least Jay was talking to you a good amount. That'd be a little weird if he was like, "Who are these guys again? Oh, they've been on 12 times. Okay, neat." Like,
Yeah,
Bill,
no, he was kind to us every single time.
that's nice.
Jimmy Fallon's also a super nice guy. Yeah, look, there's ones that talk to you and ones that don't. You know.
Well, now, so I took a little gander at Spotify before we got on here, and just on Spotify alone, Meant to Live has over 100 million streams, and that's, you think about it, Spotify didn't come around until several years after the song.
Right.
Do you ever just sit around? I mean, I know obviously you guys have had, like we were just talking about, all these crazy moments, but I mean, just the idea that your song that you guys created has been streamed on one service 100 million times. Is it like, do you ever like look at those numbers and just go, what? That's amazing. How does that happen?
Yeah, it's absurd. I mean, the whole thing's absurd. You know, getting to do music and call that a job, it's absurd. You know, none of the bands that I grew up listening to really made it out of like playing garage shows. You know, do a couple albums, working a side job, and these were the local San Diego bands that were my heroes.
Yeah.
And so I mean, the whole thing's been a gift. I think we assumed that we'd be back in college after an album or two. And I never actually officially dropped out of college. I kind of thought that I'd be back,
Hold on to those credits.
Yeah, exactly. And maybe I still will. It's just been a long hiatus.
There you go. I think it maybe a degree's in the future. Who knows? When you guys decided you had the Beautiful Letdown anniversary, the hour version of Beautiful Letdown, and it's pretty wild for me to see all the massive artists that were influenced by that album. I mean, the Jonas Brothers, Owl City, 21 Pilots, One Republic, who were completely changed by your music. That's what they said. They were changed by it. I mean, in a small way, a part of your music is in their music that they end up creating. Like that's got to mean a lot when you hear it coming from another artist like that.
Yeah, it does. It's unbelievable. I mean, that's what's beautiful about music. That's the way music works. Is we're all standing on all these shoulders of bands that went before us, and it's a beautiful thing to kind of be able to acknowledge and point out who those artists were. And one of those artists for us, we just got to release a song with, Buddy Guy. Like that's. Yeah. Talk about someone who's a lot of people are standing on his shoulders,
Absolutely. I mean, speaking of that song, it is, I would say, slightly different than the rest of the Switchfoot catalog. Would you agree with that?
Yeah. We so we wrote that song specifically for Buddy. Okay. Not knowing if he was gonna, want to sing on it, want to play on it. It was just kind of like this pipe dream of like, well, what if we wrote a song for Buddy? What would the song be? And John had the concept Last Man Standing, which was like, yeah, I mean, that's, if you could come up with a phrase for Buddy right now, that's it, Yeah, he's just this like rough and tumble dude who has seen it all, and he's the last man standing.
Yeah, it's nuts. I mean, you think about it. The guy has been literally playing blues guitar since before Elvis's first single. Like, it's nuts.
Right?
The
It's crazy.
I mean, the guy is 88 years old and he still plays and sings amazing. It's crazy. Well, now I heard, I think this is the case. Tom Hambridge had something to do with this sort of getting the song to Buddy.
Yeah, I mean, in a very big way. Tom was in town, and he had some time, and he's a friend of ours, and he's an incredible songwriter and musician, and we talked about, well, what if you came by our studio and we wrote a song together, and that was kind of what sparked well, let's write a song for Buddy. I mean, we're shooting our shot here,
Yeah. So how long did it take, like, after you guys had written those parts, how long did you hear back from Tom saying, yeah, Buddy's into it?
It was actually a while.
Okay.
Which, isn't that uncommon with everyone's doing a million things.
Sure, sure.
And so, it was probably 6 months, maybe even a year after we wrote it, that we got the good news, Buddy's in. And we were like, what? And
that had to be a good day when you found that out.
Right? Yeah. That's a good day. Yep. And he's not just going to play on it, he's going to sing on it. It's going to be a, full collaboration.
Yeah.
And it was just kind of like the dream scenario.
Now, was this one of those things where, like, you guys sort of recorded your parts, Buddy recorded his, and then Tom sort of mixed it together in the studio magic, or were you guys actually physically with Buddy?
Yeah, it was a long distance relationship. Which,
Gotcha.
I guess if you were to say, is there anything that could have been even more dreamy, that would have been, unbelievable to be doing it in the same place. But he was on tour and we were on tour, and some studio magic.
So now, did you guys, I'm guessing, like, you laid down basically the whole song and then he came in, put his parts in as far as the vocals and, like, his guitar licks?
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Nice. Now, like, once you actually heard the full thing, like, final project, because I feel like you had to be a little bit blown away there.
Oh yeah. No, Buddy crushed it, and I love how he can say so much with just a single note, on the guitar, and so it was really fun. He gave us a lot of options too, for us to kind of like bring into the studio, and kind of we did some rearranging after we heard what he did on it, because he really elevated the song a lot. So we kind of got a chance to respond back again to what he did.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, it came out amazing. I mean, like, honestly, if you let me listen to the song without showing me, of course, the liner notes and everything, and said this was Switchfoot and Buddy, I'd be like, what? No. Nah. Like, you can hear John. You can hear John's voice, definitely. I mean, like, in his parts, you can tell if, like, once, of course, I know it's Switchfoot. I know that I hear John in there, but, like, you guys, and then you can feel some of, like, Chad and your influence. You can feel the rhythm section, but, like, you guys really morphed into that blues sound.
That's what's really special about John's voice. If I can brag about my brother for a second, is it's very iconic. It's very recognizable as
Absolutely.
him.
Yeah.
And I think that's given us as a band the ability to really cover a lot of ground over 13 albums, and yet still sound like Switchfoot.
Yeah.
Because if John's singing it, it's gonna sound like Switchfoot.
Definitely. Well, now, I mean, like you said, you guys sort of shoot your shot with Buddy Guy. Have you thought like maybe we should just try for some other super famous artists? Maybe we should just make one for Paul McCartney. Let's give a shot. Let's see if we can go for Paul.
Let's go. Well, I mean that was something that I think was surprising with the Beautiful Letdown re-record project. The 20th anniversary was all these artists coming out of the woodwork saying, yeah, we want to be on that project, we want to collab with you guys. That was a gift too. So
Definitely.
yeah, it's been a couple years of beautiful surprises, so let's see what's next.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, talking about what's next, I know you guys, like I mentioned earlier, you're working on a new album in January. Now, is the Buddy Guy track going to be part of that, or since it wasn't recorded with the same producer, is the Buddy Guy just sort of a one-off single with Buddy?
Yeah, that lives in its own world.
I like it. I like it.
Yeah, so this new project that we're working on, I will say the Buddy Guy song, As Only Buddy Can, got us really excited about electric guitar again.
Yeah.
And so I think we're taking that energy back into the studio with this new project, but I think that's probably the only thing that it has in common.
Gotcha. Now you recorded it in Nashville, right?
Yep, half in Nashville and half at our place in San Diego.
Gotcha.
And it's a big rock record, the likes of which we haven't made for quite some time. I'd say some of our most aggressive guitar rock,
high energy.
Yep,
I love it. I was just thinking about that this morning. Actually, I was like, you know what? Because I was listening to some songs from artists. I won't mention which artists that have been on the show, but I was listening to some artists that have been on the show, and they were fairly, subdued. They're really good songs, but they're low energy. And I was like, you know what? I haven't heard in a long time some good high energy stuff. Some real just in your face stuff. So I'm looking forward to it.
Let's go. Yeah, man. It's a lot of tempo, and we're having a lot of fun. Really enjoying this one.
I did have to point out, I noticed when you were recording in Nashville, there seemed to be alpacas near the studio.
That's true.
Nice.
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah.
I feel like that's got to be a good, side interest. Just look out and see what the alpacas are doing that day.
Yes. This album brought to you by the influence of alpacas.
I love it. Well, one real quick question. I mean, I know it was in Nashville. You guys have been there, obviously, like any musicians, a good number of times. Do you have any go-to restaurants when you go to Nashville?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of touristy, but I am a fan of the hot chicken. You know?
Of course. What place do you go?
I don't know. I mean, Hattie B's is great. I don't know that I have like a favorite. I think when you're a touring musician, you're a little more opportunistic as to like which hotel are you at? Where's the tour bus?
Sure.
But I think the whole genre of Nashville hot chicken, it's a win for me.
Absolutely. I mean, the only thing that kills me is if you get that really hot stuff, sometimes it just hangs on your lips for so long, man. It does
reach a point where it's like, is this good? Is the flavor good at this heat level? I think for me, you avoid the ones that are trying to prove a point. You go for like, hot. You don't go for extreme hot.
Kill yourself.
End of the world.
Yes, exactly. Have you ever tried Bolton's hot chicken?
No.
I'd say go with Bolton's next time you're in Nashville. That's my lesser known. It's not at the level of like Hattie B's and Prince's, which most everybody knows those. Well, one last question: Do you have a relative release date idea where you want to release the album, or can't say yet?
Well, we're shooting for this year, which I think is, that's doable.
Doable.
So
Nice.
So yeah, we're kind of gunning for that October, November time frame. So we'll see where we land.
I love it. I love it. Well, I don't want to take up any more of your time, Tim, but I do want to thank you for coming on the show and talking with us today.
Hey, it's been a great hang. Thanks for having me.
For sure. Listeners, make sure you check out John Foreman. He's coming on the road here in Jacksonville. You check out the new Bongo Chico song, When You Walked Away. And right now, let's take a listen to the newest single of Switchfoot with Buddy Guy. This is Last Man Standing, right here on the Doc G Show. And we are back here on the Doc G Show. Tim Foreman, fantastic Switchfoot, Mike.
Yeah, man.
What's your favorite Switchfoot song?
We were meant to live for so much more.
Nice.
Oh, man, I fucking song.
It's a good jam. It is a good jam.
Yeah, it is.
They got.
That's the only song I know, to be honest with you.
Oh, come on.
Unfortunately.
I
think there might be a couple others that if I heard, I'll be like, oh, yeah, this one.
Oh yeah, no, you definitely on that same same album, Dare You to Move. Dare you to move.
Oh yeah, that's a jam,
Dare
man.
you to move.
For sure.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah, that's a good
that's
song.
a good jam too. And then they got another one on another album, Stars, that was real big. Stars was a big jam. But anyways, just being awesome dudes. Can't thank Tim enough for coming on the show. Really appreciate it, Mike.
Thank you.
And then you get to be a big star like they do, and you go out and you make your album, and you get to go meet Ringo Starr when you're making your album. That's pretty dope.
Yeah, it
One
is.
of the
Goddamn.
Beatles, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, that's who, Mike, if you could do that, like let's say you were getting ready to throw down a special and you were getting ready to record your special, and before you recorded your special, you got to meet an icon. Who would that icon be? Who would that Ringo Starr be for you?
I would say Jerry Seinfeld, first guy that comes to mind. I mean, if I were to record a stand-up comedy special and I met Jerry Seinfeld, like in the green room before I went out and shot it, that would be like...
I got to be honest.
That'd be awesome.
If that were the case, it would shake me, though. Like, I'd be like, can I see you after I did this? This is a little too intimidating to see you before.
Be even cooler if he introed me on stage.
Well, if he did give you, if he gave you the hype, if he came in and was like, "Hey, I'm a huge fan, and that's why I'm here, and I want to introduce," then you'd be like, "Oh, I'm awesome. I am awesome."
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
I thought you were
yeah.
going to say Dane.
I mean, I would say it would be like, I want to say Dane Cook would be right there with Jerry Seinfeld, but I feel like Jerry Seinfeld, I feel like is, yeah, man, he's a legend.
He's a legend.
I mean, he's an absolute legend.
He knows how to craft them. He is a true, crafter of joke.
Yeah, he is.
There's so many different variations when you talk about it, though, Mike. Because like that's the thing. Is like he is a crafter and almost I'd say a mutator of jokes, because he gets a joke and then it just mutates for years and years and years. Whereas it's like we talked about, Jim Gaffigan gets a joke and he hits those things out, just zips them out left and right.
Yeah, I think his wife is a writer though.
Oh yeah,
I think she was a comedian.
No, she was.
I don't think Jerry Seinfeld's wife is a
Not a comedian.
writer. So
No.
it's harder to bounce stuff off His wife probably. That's why Jim gets that extra.
Oh, absolutely.
A little bit extra help,
absolutely,
maybe.
you know. Anyways, if you haven't listened, you need to listen to the new Switchfoot song with the legendary Buddy Guy. Just fantastic. Mike, we need to move on, though, to the fastest growing segment in the world.
Mike C, top 3.
Mike, you chose, or we chose, I guess, again, top festivals that we hadn't gone to. Now, I did a little research on this, Mike. I'll be honest right now from the get-go. I could have done more. I could have dug harder on my research. But I got a couple. I think they're pretty good.
Cool.
I've got some honorable mentions. You want to do the honorable mentions first or after?
Let's do them after.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Mike, I'll hit you with my number 3 then. My number 3, it's well known. It just went on like, I don't know, a couple weeks ago. South by Southwest.
Yeah. Okay.
You know,
that would be cool. I didn't even think about that one.
There's just a lot going on there. You know, you got comedy going on there. You got music going on there. You got movies going on there. You got just entertainment of all sorts going on there.
Yeah.
You know, and maybe, who knows, Mike? Maybe someday Doc G Show gets big enough. We're there. You know?
We could be there.
You know, we just have...
Why not?
We have a live show at South by Southwest. Mm-hmm. And Jerry Seinfeld opens up for us, you know?
Yeah. And then we have a bunch of, people from Bangladesh in the audience.
Exactly. All
gosh.
Here's our crowd. We know them. They're our Bangladesh rowdy fans. There we go. But yeah, I think that'd be really fun.
It would be.
You know.
Yeah, man. South by Southwest for sure.
Mike, your number 3.
My number 3, Oktoberfest in Germany. That'd be cool. That would be cool.
I wouldn't mind eating some sausages. You know.
Yeah.
I'm not.
I mean, it's a huge beer festival too.
I was about to say I'm not a beer
sausages.
man, so and I'm not a sauerkraut guy really. So I'd be down to the sausages. That'd be what I'd be doing there. But yeah, I get you. I mean, that's a big one, of course. Yeah. Makes sense. I saw it. I didn't put it on my honorable mentions, but I thought about it. Anywho, Mike, my number 2. Cheese Rolling Festival in England.
Yeah.
It seems pointless, Mike. It seems stupid, and I think that's pretty great. You know? There's not much organized. Everybody just gets on this really big hill and they roll their cheese down.
Sweet.
And everybody goes bananas about it. And there's a lot of people that get hurt. And I'm a fan of things, Mike, that are not really highly organized and don't have a point. That's usually when you have the most fun, man. And it looks like they just really have a lot of fun here. And they're celebrating something that's really weird and has no point. So, cheese rolling, Mike.
Cheese rolling
festival. Fun. There we go. Mike, your number 2.
My number 2, Electric Forest. Ooh. I think that would be pretty cool to go to. It sounds lots of music, festivities, art, and you're in the forest.
Definitely would not be able to do any drugs before that one.
No way.
There are a lot of crazy colors and a lot of trees to freak me out on that one. I would need to have all of my senses going into that. But I have a feeling a lot of people would think the opposite of me, Mike. A lot of intoxicated folks there. A lot of ayahuasca and peyote and mushrooms and craziness, Mike.
All the drugs.
Mike, my number 1, Taste of Chicago.
Taste of Chicago.
The world's biggest food festival.
Okay.
Love it, Mike. I was like, what do I love to do? Eat.
Yes.
It'd be great just to go around and see all of these awesome foods. And I mean, Chicago, first of all, by themselves, has amazing food. And then you add on top of that it's the world's biggest food festival. What?
I didn't know that. I didn't know it was the world's biggest. I did look up food festivals.
Yeah. Taste of Chicago, man.
Taste of Chicago.
And I mean, you know what? Sometimes I don't do so well with insane energy at festivals. That was some of the festivals that I looked at, and I was like, oh, that'd be too much.
Too much.
I couldn't handle that, you know? And but that's the thing, is with a food festival, you know it's going to be low-key. People are just going to be eating crap, being like, oh, this is delicious. All right, let's move on to the next thing. So I was like, I like it. I'm going Taste of Chicago.
Yeah.
Mike.
That'd be nice.
You're number one.
Okay, so I didn't know. I'd never heard of this in my life.
Okay.
Never heard of this festival, but it takes place in Florida.
Uh-huh.
And it's down by Okeechobee, I think. Live Oak? Is that Okeechobee?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Halloween.
Halloween.
It's a music and arts festival held annually around Halloween at the Spirit of the Swanee Music Park in Live Oak, Florida, known for blending jam bands, electronic music, funk, and elaborate Halloween costumes, decorations, interactive art installations, live painting, and workshops. I like workshops.
Big fan of workshops. I'm
Sounds like a lot of fun.
I'm going to guess we've had somebody that has performed at Halloween on our show before. I'm looking at it right now. Last year we had somebody that was on at Halloween. None other than Andy Frasco performed at Halloween last year. So there you go. And we probably had more. They've got really teeny names there that I can't see. But we've definitely, I'm going out on a limb and say we've had multiple people at Halloween. Let's see, 2021, did we have anyone? Yep. My Morning Jacket was also at Halloween. We had My Morning Jacket on the show.
That's
Magic
right.
City Hippies, Halloween. Yep. Yeah, man, Mike, we've had all kinds of people play Halloween. So
yeah, I did a Reddit search. I was like, what's your favorite festival? Reddit, of course. And all the top posts were Halloween. That was the number one festival. So I was like, oh, and then I looked into it, and yeah, I like Halloween.
I don't know, Mike. I think I'm going to enjoy my food more than Halloween. I don't know.
Oh yeah. Well, honorable mentions. I got some.
Do you know where the hula comes from? Is there like hula hoops or something involved?
No idea.
Okay, I'm gonna have to look that up, Mike.
Yeah.
I am interested in knowing why it's hula. Humans of hula spirit? Huh. I mean, it might be the area. I think it might be the area, Mike. Sewanee Halloween. Let's see. I'm gonna do a quick look, see if I can find it here. No, I can't find it, but I will find it, Mike. I will find it. Just to let you know, Mike, it's been going on since 2013.
Cool.
And we had 3 people on the 2013 docket.
Nice.
Yeah, Big Gigantic. We had them on the show. Moon Taxi, we had them on the show, and Jennifer Hartswick, we had her on the show. There you go.
There we go.
God, man, we should be at Halloween.
We should be at Halloween.
With as many people that we've had on the show from their shows, good God.
We've got an in. We've got a few in.
It's like we hosted Halloween or something. Good Lord. Yeah, there's another 2015. There's 2 more, but 3 bands that we had from 2015. My Lord. It's just, we basically started this thing. Good Lord.
So true.
The headliner that I saw, because I looked up on ChatGPT what it was, and funk with headliners like the String Cheese Incident.
Yeah.
I don't know who that is.
Oh, they're a jam band. Yeah, of course.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Mike, I'm going to, 2 things, Mike. I'm going to count up how many bands we've had from Halloween that have been on the show that have performed at Halloween. And I'm also going to find out what hula means.
Cool.
Because I feel ignorant not knowing what hula means. I mean, I shouldn't, since I've never really heard of this festival. But I do. So I'm going to figure it out. Mike, honorable mentions.
Honorable mentions.
First off, honorable mention, we'll just go. How many honorable mentions do you have?
4.
Yep. Okay, we'll go back and forth. My first one, I think you pronounce it Holi Festival in India. It's Holi. Hola.
Yeah.
Anyhow.
Is that where they throw?
Yeah, you get lots of paint. Yeah.
They throw paint at each other.
Yeah, you just get all colorful, man. Sweet. And all the paints they represent something different, you know. I forget. It's like green, I think, is like rebirth and new and stuff. And let's see here. I thought I had the list here. Blue. No, they got the different colors. They don't tell. But anyways, yeah, everybody. Now, I do have to say it does seem one that could get a little get a little excessive.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like you see some of these pictures, and it's like thousands and thousands of people, and I'm like, that's too much. Yeah, I don't want to be in that, you know. But like maybe I would fly over it at a low level, maybe that, you know, like
that'd be nice.
Or
a little helicopter tour or something of it.
Yeah, or start at like a smaller celebration. You know, because there are a lot of other places where they have them. Like apparently in America, there's a pretty big one in New Brunswick, New Jersey, and there's a pretty big one in Tampa, Florida. So maybe I'll just go down to Tampa, see how that one is. You know, get a little feel there, and then I can branch out if not. Anywho, Mike, what's your first honorable mention?
This one maybe should have been a top 3. But Memphis in May, which is the World Championship Barbecue Cooking Contest.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, is that just, do they do all, let me see here. I'm going to look this up here.
Yeah, because I know like Tennessee is pork and Texas is beef.
Yeah,
and they have another barbecue championship or a contest in Texas.
Yeah,
but Memphis in May sounded pretty cool.
Barbecue contest. I'm looking it up right now. Let's see. The best barbecue teams on the planet will converge May 14th to 17th at Liberty Park. Most prestigious barbecue contest.
That's right.
Let's see. Since the first contest in 78, teams representing the best barbecue have been honing their craft to compete for the title. Contest features championship pork categories of ribs, shoulder, whole hog, patio porkers, as well as ancillary competitions for hot wings, sauce, and anything but pork. So I'm guessing that's where your brisket can come in, and the anything but pork. Interesting, Mike. Interesting.
Yeah. Memphis in May.
I definitely would like to eat a lot there. There's no doubt. Now, with that, I don't know if you know, Mike, they also have a river run at that same time. So you can go eat a bunch of barbecue and do the 10K Great American River Run.
Oh, yeah. I'm down with that. I would do that.
I would not eat the barbecue before it. I can tell you that much. I'd eat it afterwards, but I am not eating it. And then they've got some kind of clips of people wrestling too. I don't know what the crap is going on.
Barbecue sauce wrestle?
I don't know. It sort of looked like it. They were in something, Mike. I don't know what.
Oh, that's hot.
Yeah, and it was 2 dudes. So nice.
Oh yeah, that's nice. Hey, Doc G, just curious. How long would you? You know this stuff. How long would you wait before eating a ton of barbecue before you ran a 10K? At least 2 days, or something like that.
Well, at least 5 hours.
5 hours. Okay, that's not bad.
It's got to get out of the stomach. You don't want that stuff just sloshing around in your stomach. That could really cause some issues there.
Okay.
So depending on how big a meal is, it would takes about 3 to 5 hours to clear out of the stomach and actually get into the intestines.
Okay.
So yeah, that's how long I'd wait.
Gotcha.
Anywho, Mike, my next honorable mention, Lopburi Monkey Festival.
Word.
It's a festival they have in Southeast Asia where they just party with monkeys, right? So they just leave out a whole bunch of food for the monkeys in the area, and the monkeys get to come in and just eat all the food they want. Which, honestly, I don't think it's a great idea to, because these monkeys probably don't get that it's a one-day deal, you know? You give them all this food, and then they come back the next day, and they're like, hey, where's our food? Give us more food. Like, you know, probably not good as far as the monkey behavior, but I think it'd be really cool to see, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
Just hanging out with
great.
a bunch of monkeys and then, you know, partying with, like, orange slices and whatnot. That's pretty fun. So, anywho, Mike,
that sounds fun.
your next one.
Uphelia. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Uphelia or in Scotland, a Viking fire festival in Shetland where people dress as Vikings and burn a massive wooden longship.
Yeah, I saw that. That
sounds cool.
Yeah, it sounds pretty cool, but it also scared the living bejesus out of me. I was like, I don't know.
That's a fact.
Bunch of people, uncontrolled fires, insane people getting excited. I don't know.
I'm about it.
Yeah, I mean, you know, again, give me a helicopter tour. I might be interested. Next on my list, this is another one that could definitely get out of hand fast. But maybe if I have like a fourth story hotel room to watch it all go down. Rio Carnival, man.
Yeah, that one. That was my next one.
Yeah, it just
And Brazil.
My goodness, Mike. My goodness, it just looks bananas. You know, everybody's dancing. Half people aren't wearing any clothes. You know, they got all kinds of crazy, wild costumes on. And it's just, I mean, thousands of people just setting up there in stands and on the street, and it's just, whoo! They're knocking drums around, you know. It's bananas. It's you know.
I don't know, Brazil scares me, man. I don't know why.
It doesn't scare me. The energy scares me. You know, of that. Like I'm like, whoa, that's a bit much. You know, like I said.
They're wild.
Give me like a 4-story at in a hotel, you know, and even then I need an exit helicopter on the top of the the hotel, you know. Gets a little too crazy. I'm like, I'm out. I'm going. Mike, my last honorable mention, Running of the Bulls in Pamplona.
Oh yeah, that would be cool.
Again, I would need to watch this from a safe elevation.
Yeah,
I don't want to be in the streets. No, I do not want to actually try to outrun the Bulls. I just want to see them in live come down the street and, you know, possibly toss a couple of dudes up into the air. I want to see that happen live. I don't actually, you know, but that
even as a spectator would be kind of scary, just being on the sides and.
I mean, I imagine the ground shakes a little bit if you're close enough. You know,
for sure.
With that many bulls that are weighing like 2,000 pounds, 2,500 pounds, and you got like 30 of them running down the street, stamping around, I'd say it'd shake a little bit. Be a little intense.
Scary.
Man. Yeah. All right, Mike, you have any more honorable mentions?
Yeah, last one, and then this was like the second most popular Reddit festival to go to, but it was Bonnaroo. I think that'd be a lot of fun. Never been to Bonnaroo. I've heard a lot about it, but
we've had a couple of artists play Bonnaroo as well. A couple of artists. My Morning Jacket comes to mind. They were sort of like kings of Bonnaroo for like 7 years. They played the crap out of it, Mike. Mike, what are we doing for next week?
Next week, how about we discussed this last week, I believe. How about we do top 3 Tupac songs?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, we did discuss that because we were talking about Tupac. So we can do top 3. Ooh, it's going to be tough for me. There's a lot of Tupac I love. That's going to be a tough one.
Yeah, same.
Okay. Top 3 Tupac songs, everybody. Okay, Mike, we've got 2 more birthday suits. Do you want the comedian or do you want the actress?
Let's go with the actress.
Okay. Born in London, England on March 26, 1985, our birthday suit wearer started acting at an extremely young age of 6. Her big breakthrough was in the movie Bend It Like Beckham in 2002. Then, not long after she was in Bend It Like Beckham, she was cast as Elizabeth Swan in the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. She was then in Pride and Prejudice in 2005, followed up by movies like Dangerous Method, The Imitation Game, Everest, Official Secrets, and Misbehavior. She married James Wrighton in 2013, and they now have 2 kids. Name that birthday suit wearer.
Is it Keira Knightley?
Nicely done, Mike.
Nice.
Nicely done. Keira Knightley is correct.
Cool.
Mike, I do have to say, Keira and her husband are probably the most British couple ever. Like, I mean, first are their names. Keira Knightley and James Wrighton.
Yeah.
Like, all you need to do is add a couple of, like, suffixes on their name, like Keira Knightley of Wellington and James Wrighton the Third. Like, it's just, oh, man. Secondly, they look absolutely British.
They do look British. Yeah.
Like, you wouldn't even mistake them for something super close like French. You're like, no, that's British. They are British. Like, they are more recognized.
How do people look British?
Yeah, just proper. Like, you look very tight, very proper.
Yeah,
and they
about
look
their
very
face,
tight
though.
and proper.
Yeah.
And she's always got her, like, her cheeks are like tucked in. Again,
Yeah.
very tight, you know? They're just more British than the Union Jack. You're like,
But like
British.
a guy like Hugh Grant looks British. Like, he just looks so British.
Looks very British. Again,
What
tight,
is it about it?
tight face, very, not trying, very white features. Just, stereotypical white features. Like, yeah. Anyways, the Keira, she's turning the big 40, man.
Nice.
40 years old. I'll tell you. I was a big fan in those Pirates of the Caribbean movie. I was like, Elizabeth Swan, I wouldn't mind getting with Elizabeth Swan, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I did not, Mike. I failed to get with Keira Knightley. I think I missed my moment.
Same.
Considering she's married and has 2 kids.
Yeah.
So,
Same. Yeah.
It's all right.
not
We
married.
missed our moment, Mike. We missed it. Mike.
She missed her moment. you know?
Amen. She missed it. That is correct, Mike. You nail on the head. Mike, let's see if you can get this comedian here. Born March 26, 1950. A birthday suit wearer is known for working and touring with Steve Martin. He's also known for his characters like Jiminy Glick. He's played in a ton of movies like Three Amigos, Father of the Bride, The Willoughbys, and so much more. He's currently starring in the Hulu series Only Murders in the Building with Steve Martin and Selena Gomez. Name that birthday suit wearer.
Martin Short.
Martin Short is correct. There we go.
You didn't think I'd get Martin Short?
It was just a toss-up, Mike.
I guess you went in. Well, I guess I picked the actress.
You ended up getting everybody. Now, the first one I had to give you
Half point for
initials.
Diana,
Yeah. But you ended up getting everybody. And I said, there's a possibility you could get everybody. But, sometimes there's the comedian every now and then I think, I'm like, well, you'll definitely get this. And then, and then
Did I miss it?
But I mean, I know you know Martin Short. I just wasn't thinking, Mike. So there you go. He from Ontario, Canada. Didn't start acting until he was out of college. He was going to be a social worker, but then decided I'm going to give acting a shot. He started working at Second City in Toronto. With a bunch of famous people that went on to do all kinds of crazy stuff. The first cast, Gilda Radner, Dan Aykroyd, they were all in the same cast at Second City with him.
Jeez.
And then he went on to SCTV, the Second City TV show they had in Canada. Then he joined Saturday Night Live for 1 season. That was in '84. And then all kinds of movies, like I said before, Three Amigos, Captain Ron, Clifford, Mars Attacks, Mumford, just a whole bunch of them.
Only 1 season in SNL. That's interesting.
Yeah, he was sort of hired as the safety net Because they
Okay.
had that one year, they had some really down years there at the beginning of the 80s, and that was like where it almost ended. They almost had to cancel Saturday Night Live.
Okay.
And then Dick Ebersol, I do believe, was the guy, had to recruit. Like, that was the thing, is he just went out and just tried to, like, recruit some really big guns. And, it was like him. It was Robert Downey Jr., a couple folks like that. But that was the thing, is like, it's just for this year. And then they got the carryover, and of course they got really lucky, because then after that, then it was Mike Myers, then it was Dana Carvey, like all these really good people that Saturday Night Live's known for came in right after that. So, but anywho, there we go, Mike. Martin Short, Keira Knightley, Diana Ross. Boom. Boom. Happy birthday to all of you. Mike, we've got some great shows coming up. Very excited. Haven't worked out what days are going to be what shows, so I'm not going to let it go for right now. You'll just have to listen and find out, listeners. But until then, we need to wrap it up. I've been your host, Doc G. With me, as always, the one, the only, Mikey Maximus, the Furnicus, Surette.
Always a pleasure, Doc G. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course. And until next week, zip it up and zip it out.
Zippity-doo-dah.